Lombardi Show, featuring the head coach and general manager of the Green Bay Packers. To introduce tonight's Vince Lombardi Show, here's Al Sampson.
The final score for the Western Conference Championship game, the Packers 28, the Rams 7. Vince Lombardi, welcome back.
Thank you, Al.
Whatever happened to all of those supposedly old men on the Packer roster?
Well, Al, I guess you would have to say all of our so-called old people all came through with flying colors. And of course, young people mixed in with the so-called old people. That gave us a rare blend.
As CBS coverage became more focused on coaching strategies and player performance.
From Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, it's the National Football League's championship game. The Green Bay Packers play host to the Dallas Cowboys.
We were just like, oh, this is going to be the greatest game. They got to beat Dallas. And we were all upset because we couldn't see the game because it was blacked out.
December 31st, 1960.
I'm Ray Scott. I'll be calling the plays for you during the first half of today's game. To my right is Jack Buck, who calls the plays for the Dallas Cowboys, and you'll be hearing Jack during the second half. Jack, your thoughts here as we're moments away from the kickoff.
I think it's very cold, Ray.
Our analyst for this afternoon's game is Frank Gifford. Frank, your thoughts?
It's the coldest field I've ever seen for football.
Well, one thing I guess is pretty obvious by now, ladies and gentlemen. About every type of raiment is seen here at Lambeau Field today, and by any yardstick, it's just plain cold. It is indeed cold in Green Bay.
In the legendary Ice Bowl, Scott's style perfectly suited the brutal conditions.
Anderson, first down.
Dowler.
Touchdown.
If he's not in the top 10, then...
Starr looking deep for Dowler.
Scott's lean prose distinctively contrasted with the poet laureate of CBS. Buying memories.
The Packers come out of the huddle. 17-14. The Cowboys in the lead. The Packers inches away from the winning touchdown.
13 below. The
Cubs have played in their homes longer than the Packers.
Coming out from all sides, out onto the field. The Packers know they've got it won. So does everybody else. But we've got to move this extra point, and there will be a kickoff. Time for that much more.
Thrown the long ball many times, but was any yard more appreciated than the one you got, Bart, when you had to have it in the closing second?
Well, I don't think so, Tommy. Particularly the fact that we were having real poor footing down there, and we had some couple of good plays we felt in that situation. We couldn't even put it in with those. The backs were sliding when they would start, and really we had run out of ideas. We didn't know what to do.
Bart, you went to the turn-in stuff with Boyd Dowler and with the Carroll Dale, feeling that perhaps the traction was good enough to where they could back off Green and these people and step inside to make the catches. Was this your idea?
That's about right, yes.
What about, they did throw you 8 times, but it looked like you maybe just couldn't find an open receiver. Was the secondary for Dallas doing a great job?
You're a real fine analyst. That's exactly what happened, and I think you should take no credit away from Dallas, but also don't misname our offensive line today because they did a real fine job. I think a couple of times I should have tried to throw the ball away, but I was pressured there and I wasn't real sure. sure. In fact, on the fumble, I'm sure I should have thrown it away somewhere. But that's exactly what happened. They did a fine job of covering our receivers, and I just had to eat the ball.
Bart, how about the 3rd down and 1 call? Is this I know Green Bay likes to do this on 3rd and 1 when you hit Boyd Dowler straight up against the wind for the touchdown. Is this a normal call for you? Do you like that 3rd down and 1 situation where you can play action passes and throw deep?
Well, it's strictly a gamble, as you know, and we were lucky on that one, and you have to be lucky. If you miss on those things, you look like an idiot, but we were lucky enough on that one. It worked out fine.
You know, the one you hit Carroll Dale with, a short pass, the 86, I think you call it. I recognize that. You put
You're going to be giving our secrets away here.
Bart Starr, you did a great job. You're a fine leader, and like I say, I think the adversity of the ball.
We'll get back to Tom in just a moment with head coach Vince Lombardi.
Hold you. And
well, I think we gave him a lift in here. We gave him a big lift with the fumble recovery and for a touchdown, and then and later on with the drop punt. We gave him 10 easy points, and that gave him a lift. Up until that time, of course, I thought we had control of the ball game, but the pendulum swung a little bit on those 2 plays.
Coach, do you feel the footing was detrimental blocking for both offensive lines or anything?
Well, the footing was not as bad as it possibly might have looked. It was not as good as we had hoped, however. We had 12 degrees. There was nothing much we could do to hold the soft ground.
Bart Starr had trouble getting first downs until he really had to have one, until the final drive. Now, what do you tell a quarterback on the sidelines to suddenly get the ball club moving?
Well, it's not a question of what you tell them. It's just a question of what the ball players realize, looking at the clock, that they only have a few minutes left or whatever, and they just arrived. We didn't do anything differently. We added one little play from the sidelines, and that was it.
It's a key block for Bart Starr on this quarterback sneak for the winning touchdown.
Yes.
A super defensive play, but as you will see, Jerry Kramer blows him out of there.
Yeah, that's a fine block, and there's a real good...
In the past, you said that your Packer teams had character. Can you compare this with any of the other ones? Everybody always says, is this one of the greatest Packer teams?
It's a little bit too early to compare anything with anyone. We have another game to play, so we'll have to wait before we give this club any kind of a name just yet. We'll have a name for them, though, pretty soon.
How many days rest before getting ready for the big one?
Well, we'll come back to work here Wednesday.
They always work for Vince Lombardi, right?
That's right. Good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Packers that day became the first team